men are more concerned with empirical correctness versus women are more concerned with like moral superiority. Like they did a poll, right? And it's funny. I got to call out Chris Williamson for this shit. He has his podcast and he brings these people in, right? And he doesn't. I think he's scared to have me on, which I get it. I'm controversial.
That's a good show, by the way.
Yeah, right. I think he's
Modern Wisdom, right?
Yeah. And it's funny because he did a tweet the other day where he talked about how like, you know, men overwhelmingly like, you know, stand for free speech versus women think that free speech should be curbed if it hurts feelings and, you know, all this other stuff. And it confirms a lot of things that I've said, which is basically, right, the thing is people don't like the way I deliver the information, but the things I say are almost always statistically true as well.
It's like how Andrew Tate was.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy, Andrew Tate. And we say things that are biologically true. It's just that people don't like the way they say it because we're so controversial. But when you do studies or whatever, it comes true. Communitarian by nature, men are meritocracy based by nature. Men understand hierarchies. Men understand being successful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't understand that. They don't understand hierarchies, right? If a rich man walks into a room and there's a bunch of guys there, we understand the pecking order and we're going to respect that guy because he's a millionaire, he's successful, etc. Women don't give a fuck about that shit. Oprah walks into a room, they don't really care because like, is she pretty? No, the prettiest girl gets the most acknowledgement, right? So we don't have the same concept of meritocracy that men do, right? So with that said, they're more concerned with like political correctness and being socially acceptable than the truth. So like men, right? Something like I can pull up let me show you because I think this will be very important, right? Because I've talked about this shit before and everyone thinks that I'm fucking crazy.
He's got the facts to back it up.
Yeah, and it's funny because this tweet that he made backs up what I've been saying forever. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, bro, look, I get it, I'm controversial, whatever, but people have been fucking saying, because he brings on all these people that like criticize the red pill and they criticize me. And I'm like, why can't I fucking defend myself? Brings these fucking like pseudo intellectuals on that like don't know anything about like dealing with women in modern society. Hold on, let me find this shit real quick because it was actually really.
Yeah, we'll edit this out. Take your time.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool. That's the beauty of going.
Yeah, I'm not live like your show.
Yeah. Okay. 71% of men reported that protecting, and this is between male and female professors in America. 71% of men reported that protecting free speech is more important than promoting an inclusive society. 59% of women said promoting an inclusive society is more important than protecting free speech.
Wow.
So a majority of women said that promoting an inclusive society is more important than protecting free speech. Now, there's more stuff like this, but what this basically proves is what I've always said about women, because he goes into more stats that show that women prioritize being politically correct and like social values versus like what's, you know, empirically correct or what's factual. And when you look at censorship, most of the time, what is censorship? Censorship is like leftist ideologies being challenged. So they say, this is hate speech. We're going to go ahead and ban it, right? And we look at a lot of these tech companies, right? And we look at who's in the trust and safety teams. Who is it? Women, bro. Right? So that's what it is. What going back with this whole situation is like morality and being accepted and inclusivity is far more important to women than it is to men.
Makes sense. Men are way more logical, right?
Way more. And this is why women, because that need to like be socially superior a lot of the times will cloud their judgment on what needs to actually be done. Now, are there cutthroat women out there that will understand, hey, we got to do what's right regardless of how we feel about it? Of course. But again, that is the minority.
Yeah. I think it's a good balance though. Like some days you'll come home after a long day and want some advice from your girl, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would never take advice from my girl.
Not business advice. I'm saying just like emotional advice.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk with her or some shit, but I don't think men are ever in a position to really advise men of anything. And the reason why is because they don't. So, women live life on easy mode. So why the fuck am I going to sit here and talk to someone that lives life on easy mode when I play the game on hard mode? Like, you ever play GoldenEye?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, you play video games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like women, right? They get something called the Game Shark, right? They can just like get the cheat codes for the game without even playing the game, and they get all the fucking golden guns and all the power-ups and all this other bullshit, right? Versus the guys, we actually got to play the game on hard mode, no fucking power-ups, just a shitty little pistol, and we got to fight our way to the main boss. So if you had to play the game on super hard mode and you beat the game, well, guess what? You're going to be a lot more skilled than the person that had the cheat codes, right?
Right.
So I look at it like, why, as a man, when you play the game on hard mode, are you going to go and sit there and talk to someone who plays the game on easy mode and get their advice? They're not even in a position, they don't even understand what the game is like on your level. So they're not really in a position to give, they're not really in a position to give you viable advice because women have privileges that they're not even aware of sometimes, right? They're able to get in certain rooms that me and you would have to fight tooth and nail to get into.
Right.
They're able to network with individuals that we would never get a chance to network with unless we were on that individual's level. So for me, well, not even for me, I for most men, I tell them like, yo, most men are not in a position to tell you shit. They're just not. And most importantly, they don't want to be in a position to tell you shit, because if they're in a position to tell you anything, that means that they're to you, which you already lost at that point, right? You need to be superior to your girl in every single fucking way. That's the only way that she'll respect you. Women don't want to equal. They'll sit there and like, I just want to equal. No, they fucking don't. Because if you go 50-50 on the bills, she's going to start complaining and bitching that you're not man enough to pay the fucking bills. So you might as well just be that guy from the beginning. Your opinion doesn't matter. We're going to do what I say. I'll listen to what you got to say. But at the end of the day, I make the final decision, right? And the woman's got to earn that ability to be even your consigliere, if we're going to use mafia terms, where she can even tell you what she thinks as your advisor. But at the end of the day, you make the final decision. And if you want to tell her at any time, you tell her this is how it's going to go. And women want that. They want a guy that can, put their foot down and say, we're going to do this. You just focus on being pretty. They want that. They just don't want to admit it because, they fall so hard through feminism to be equal. But the reality is they never want to be equal in the first place.
Right.
So I think if guys have this mindset where it's like, I'm the leader, the buck starts and stops with me, you're going to be in a way better position, and you're going to be more attractive to your girl. Because what she's going to be able to do is she's going to be able to be more feminine. She's going to be more relaxed. She's like, oh shit, I can calm down. This guy got it. He's just competent. Like, he doesn't fucking need me. And that's what makes her say, I fucking want this guy. Because it's so rare to find a guy that can literally doesn't fucking need them. Like, so many guys are, one of the biggest things I tell guys, never cry in front of your girl. Ever fucking do that shit. Because the thing is that when you cry in front of your girl, what you're doing is you're triggering this carnal feeling in them where you're displaying that you are not an adequate mate. Right? Joe Rogan famously had this girl on, forget her fucking name, but who cares? Yeah. And some random female, but she was dating a UFC fighter.
Okay.
See how acquire status through men? So she was dating this UFC fighter, and she said that, I was seeing him get beat up in a cage, and I just I don't know, it was over for me at that point. And the reason why is because she saw another man beating up her man, dominating her man, even though this guy's a top 1% fighter, he could beat up 99% of men. But it's another thing for women to see you getting beat up, right? And then they're like, oh shit, my safety. It's jeopardized now. This guy can get beat up. Oh my God. You need to be that superhero for her, right? I would equate that, right? To give guys an example. That's like you see your girl get. You would never have the same respect for her. You'd be like, what the fuck? This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Fuck this. That's like her seeing you get beat up by a dude. Same thing. Crying in front of her, whatever. It triggers this carnal, cerebral thing in her head where she's like, this guy can't protect me. I need to leave, right? Because women always look at men from a strength perspective. You're supposed to be the leader, right? No matter how much of a feminist she is, it's all a fucking lie. She still expects you, when the push comes to shove, someone breaks in the house, you need to be the man and fucking handle it. This is why women are attracted to criminals, murderers, violent individuals. Why is Luigi so attractive right now to all these bitches? Because he committed an act of murder. Want to look at serial killers. Why is Ted Bundy being fawned upon by women? Jeffrey Dahmer, etc. Why did bitches show up at their fucking trials in droves, right? Richard Ramirez. Because women love dangerous men that have the capability of violence. They love it because that shows that they can protect. So as a guy, when you cry in front of your girl or you get beat up or anything else like that, what you're showing is weakness. And weakness is the worst thing that you could show your girl. So that's why I tell guys, you make the decisions. You don't need her advice. Don't get beat up in front of her. Don't cry in front of her. You want to cry? Cool. Go cry in front of your fucking friends because they can actually probably help you. She can't. She's just going to lose attraction for you and question why she's with you. She won't obviously openly say this, but she's going to feel in her mind. Because some women will sit there and say, well, I want my guy to open up to me. Don't do it.
It's a trap.
It's a fucking trap. It's a trap. Don't fucking do it, man. Because women are fantastic at telling you one thing, but responding to something else favorably. I want a nice guy. You be a nice guy? Guess what? She loses attraction for you. I want a gentleman. You bring flowers on a first date, lose attraction for you. Don't listen to anything they say. They don't. The thing with women is what they say they're attracted to a lot of times is not what they're aroused by. What they're aroused by is a guy like me that tells them, you're wrong. We're going to do this. Doesn't take their bullshit, right? Doesn't tolerate them talking back to them.